Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel if you are watching and listening on YouTube. And for those of you who are listening on your favourite podcast platform, thank you so much for tuning back in and welcome to episode 11. I hope you are ready for today's episode. Today I want to talk to you all about what your soul is and soulmates and how they all tie in with spirituality and how your soul makes you who you are. So grab yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee or something stronger if you want to, because hey, lockdown, and let's get to it. So the reason I want to talk about souls and soulmates and all that sort of thing is because I recently watched the film Soul, which is the new Disney Pixar film which came out last year, and I was just really excited to watch it and see what it was all about. So today I am drinking out of what is now becoming my favourite mug, and I have a green tea in there today because I ran out of just green tea and jasmine, which is normally my go-to drink for the morning, but yeah, I've run out. So now I'm just drinking normal green tea and it's actually not too bad. It's quite refreshing. So yes, I had heard of Soul, and I wasn't, even though it's called Soul, I wasn't really too sure what the film was going to be about. And I hadn't done any prior reading about it or anything like that. But my best friend was ranting and raving about it and saying, look, you need to watch this. It's really good and I think you'll really enjoy it. So I was like, okay, cool. So it came out in 2020 and it's about a jazz musician called Joe Garner who accidentally gets separated from his soul. So his body, his physical body and his soul get completely separated. And it happens just before his big musical break. And I was like, ooh, yes, okay, now I definitely need to watch this. So the film kind of hit me pretty hard because I do constantly question about my soul and where am I going in life and what does this mean and, you know, all those sorts of things. I think when you are a spiritual being, you do question a lot of things, whereas most people who maybe aren't quite in tune with their spirits or their souls would just kind of just fly through life by the seat of their pants, whereas I do tend to question a lot of stuff and do a lot of soul searching. So yeah, it did hit me pretty hard and kind of, made me question what my spark is, what my soul purpose is on earth. All very deep questions, and to be asking yourself those sorts of questions in lockdown is pretty intense, to say the least. And again, there's loads of other sorts of even deeper questions that you start to think about whilst you're watching it. Is, you know, when does your actual life begin? Okay, we're going to get really deep here, but when does it begin? So physically, you are born into this world, into a human body. Is that when your life begins, or does it begin when you start learning to walk, talk, you're in tune with your senses? Or does it happen sort of later on in life when, you know, you find things that you really enjoy or you hang around with people that bring you joy? Like, when does it actually begin? I really want to hear your thoughts on that, so please do let me know. I wonder whether your life kind of begins when you have like your first memory or something happens. I mean, obviously a lot of us can't remember when we were younger. I mean, I vaguely get weird flashbacks of my first, like our first ever house. So I must have been about 2 or 3, and I just remember like the stairs carpet and I remember my bedroom. But other than that, I don't remember anything about being a child. But maybe that's when my life started to begin, because I had those flashbacks, I had those memories. So it's a really interesting concept to kind of think about. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on when you think our life begins, because I think it's a really interesting topic. I have notes on this today because there's a lot I want to talk about. And I came across a quote. I couldn't tell you who. I think it was anonymous. There was no sort of name attached to it, but it said, "To live is not the same as to have a life." And I was like, whoa, okay, that's intense. And again, it kind of makes you question, what does that mean? Like, to live is not the same as to have a life. And again, I think it goes back to when people are more in tune with their spiritual beings and they do start to question themselves and have this self-development, I think they're very in tune with their life and how they want it to go and where they see themselves going. Where there are some people in this life who kind of, again, coast through and they're just sort of kind of floating by without maybe having an impact or really knowing where they want to go. So I think, again, that's a really interesting sort of quote to kind of pick up on. Again, it's something to discuss. So again, let me know what your comments are and your thoughts about that sort of thing as well. But let's talk about what it means to have a soul and what a soul is. So I wrote down some definitions of what the dictionary actually defines soul as. So the first one is the spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal regarded as immortal. So it's kind of immaterial part and a spiritual part of a human. And that's already in the dictionary, that it's already defined as something spiritual. So again, people who maybe aren't in tune with their spiritual being or their deeper thoughts and deeper emotions might not even be in tune with their soul or their soul purpose or what that actually means. And the second thing is emotional or intellectual energy or intensity, especially as revealed, which can be specifically revealed in a work of art or something artistic. So again, you know, I say things like there are pieces of music that I listen to which literally just warm my soul. And the only way I can describe it is like I just get a really intense warm feeling sort of in my heart area and in my chest, where it just makes me feel warm and kind of safe. And I feel like that's my soul talking to me. And again, I feel like your soul and your gut instinct can all be the same thing, because sometimes, you know, you're thinking about something or you're just about to do something and then you get that sort of feeling and it's like, oh, okay, is this my soul or is this my gut instinct? And I do generally think maybe they're possibly the same thing. Again, this is all just what I personally think. You may have some different thoughts on that. Many people also think that your soul continues to live even once your physical body is dead. And I actually do like the thought of that, and I do really resonate with this, purely on the basis that I have been to some places and I've met some people in my life that I've thought, I've met you before, but I haven't. And some people say, oh, it's just like your memory kind of preconcepting meeting this person or going to this place. I kind of think there's more to it. For example, when I went to Canada a couple of years ago, I just felt like I'd come home, like I'd come back to my spiritual home and that I'd kind of been there before. It was a really strong feeling. And again, I haven't had that sort of thing before with a place. So, you know, I just know that I've definitely been there before. So it's got to have been in my previous life, or my soul has been there before. And I've also been told when I've been to a spiritual healer, so I've had some Reiki and spiritual healing, that sort of stuff. And I actually got told that in my previous life I was a lumberjack, which explains a lot. Hence the check shirts. Maybe that's why I sing country music and have a lot of check shirts. But she also said I had a brown bear cub with me as well, which again is very interesting because I do really resonate with bears, especially brown bears. And in my family, you know, I call nicknames. Everyone has like bear, like my mum's like mummy bear, like my dad's like Papa Bear. You know, everyone is associated with this bear creature. So again, that's tying in with my potential past life and my soul, my inner being. And I really do love like that whole notion. It absolutely fascinates me. And I do love the notion of, you know, your soul and what makes your soul sing. And I often have moments where something just makes me feel like my soul singing. Singing makes my soul sing. So another thing I have heard quite a lot throughout my life, and it's a saying, I don't even know where it comes from, I probably should have researched where it came from, but is that when someone has an old soul, So I've been told that quite a few times throughout my life, that even though, you know, I know I'm 30 now, but when I was younger, I got told, oh, you're such an old soul, you're so wise, you've got all of these little nuggets of information. And I'm like, I don't know where it comes from. And again, that could be one of your previous lives coming through with you and your soul to bring you, and it's bringing that knowledge with them. Again, there's got to be something behind saying you're an old soul, because otherwise it just doesn't make any sense to me. Because if you're like 25 but you're spouting knowledge of things that you maybe should know at 25, why would someone say that? So again, like, it's maybe there is something to it. Maybe it is past lives coming through at the same, you know, at the same time, but just now being in this physical body. But I do find it absolutely fascinating, the whole notion of like souls and soul connection, and soulmates is another thing. You know, I kind of strongly believe that we can have lots of different soulmates, and it, you know, potentially not even necessarily humans. I think you can have like a soul connection with an animal. For example, where I used to live, the landlady and the landlord used to have 2 dogs, and one of them I was absolutely besotted with, and she used to follow me everywhere, and she'd always come and sit on my bed if I wasn't well, or she was just always there, and I just felt like we did have this really weird animal kind of connection. It was odd, it was very weird, but again, I was okay with that, and I think that's really cool. But also soulmates, I think, you know, you meet people in your life that you literally just click with in your soul, like you just have this deep soul connection, and it can be your best friend, it can be, you know, just anyone, it could be your grandparents, just anyone that you do have this connection with. And I think for me personally, when people say, oh, you know, you'll find the one, and this sort of stuff, I don't know whether I believe that there's always just that one person for people. I mean, I've come from a family where, you know, both my parents are divorced and they've now found other people and they're really happy. So I just think maybe there is more than one person for someone out there. You know, if things don't work out, I just generally think that there's this whole preconception of that one person. So yeah, again, that's my kind of thoughts on like soulmates and that sort of thing. But I definitely need to watch the film again. One, because the music is fantastic. So I'm not a huge jazz fan. I do appreciate jazz and I appreciate the form of jazz, but for me, it's kind of a bit too free and fancy. I'm just not like, I like a bit of structure in my song. So I do sit there and I'm just like, I don't really know what's going on. So maybe I need to listen to more jazz to kind of appreciate it. So that's one reason I'm going to watch it again. The second one, I just want to delve deeper into how they do the amazing storytelling of your soul journey and purpose. Because I think what Pixar do so well, and they did it really well with Inside Out, is they can just make you understand about quite deep things in a really clever way. And it does, maybe not, I mean, for kids, maybe it again probably just goes over the head, but even as an adult watching it, it's great, because then you kind of get a deeper understanding from something which has been done so simply and done so well. So Pixar do a really good job of that. So well done, Disney and Pixar. But yeah, do let me know your thoughts on all these topics that I've discussed today, and hopefully I can get some people on for an interview about talking about this stuff a bit deeper, and seeing where, you know, where their thoughts are about it, and where different religions, or sort of what their conceptions are about, you know, souls and that sort of thing. So yeah, this has been a really interesting podcast for me. I kind of enjoyed doing a little bit of research on it, and it's helped me kind of develop myself as well, because I think through lockdown I'm starting to learn a lot about myself and just get deeper understanding for me and what my soul needs. So it's it's been really fascinating. But thank you so much for watching and listening, and do tune in for the next episode very, very soon. So take care, guys, and talk later. Bye bye.